if somebody is in touch with their ex, is that okay with you or not?
Yeah. I suppose it depends.
Maybe like an occasional, hey, what's
Okay,
up?
yeah, I would definitely not let my girl talk to her ex.
You would not?
No.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I mean,
Because I
Agree.
think women are more emotional. There is a reason why she's
Yeah.
talking, you know. Usually as a man, once you finish a relationship,
It's done.
it's done.
Yeah, I
you
don't
know what I
really,
mean? And
yeah,
as a
talk to
woman,
my ex.
if you're still talking to that man, then there might be still some trace, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'd struggle if, someone I was dating was besties with their ex. Like, that's not
you guys say
an
besties?
easy- besties, yeah.
Boujee bestie!
Boujee besties.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Boujee Best Friend podcast. I have a very special episode today. I welcomed two cast members of the show Magic Mike, and I had my friend Kat join the conversation. We obviously discussed the show, how they became a part of the show, how does it feel to interact with so many women at all times. And also we asked what the women want. We answered a lot of dating questions from their own perspective. And I think that we debunked some common misconceptions when it comes to the Magic Mike show. So without further ado, let's welcome Kalon, Burim, and Kat to Boujee Best Friend podcast. Okay, well, welcome to Boujee Best Friend podcast. How are you doing today?
Yeah, doing good, thanks. How are you?
How are you doing?
Very well.
How are you
guys
guys?
doing? Everything good?
Everything's fantastic. Tell us your names, please, and what is your part of the show?
Hi, I'm Kalon, and I play Mike in the show.
Hello, my name is Burim Jusufi, and I'm one of the dancers in the show.
I've seen your show how many times now? 3, 4, 5, who's counting? I don't know. And I wanted to have you on because first of all, I'm super impressed with everything you guys are doing. But not just because of that, because I feel like there's a lot of misconception about the show and people think like, oh, it's just like guys dancing around, putting their clothes off.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that. And the first time I actually got the chance to talk to you guys, I was telling you how you're actually changing people's lives. You respect women and give women confidence. The whole show is about women and empowering them in a certain way.
Yes, of course. I honestly feel very, lucky that I get to be a part of a show that can make a difference. That is, like you said, a lot more than just good-looking guys taking their shirts off that can kind of dance. I think there's a lot of artistry that goes into the show, and that kind of helps elevate it to a level where it's not, just a bunch of silly guys walking around. That in itself brings up the whole element of what women are experiencing. We take it seriously. We take what we do seriously. We take the art seriously. And we also take the message seriously. We want everyone to feel welcome and everyone to walk out of the theater feeling like they've had a great time and a great experience and, maybe feeling a bit more happy and excited about life than when they came in. Like you said, the goal is to empower women and make them feel like they can have whatever they want. They just, need to go for it and reach out and ask, and also give them a safe space to know that there are men out there and there are places out there where they can be free to explore that journey.
Sometimes it's as simple as, for example, making a woman feel seen. And that's why for me, for example, when I perform, when I'm on that stage, it's very important to connect with women directly. Even though there is like 400, 500, 600 women in the audience, I still try to connect, even if it's a couple seconds, with one person directly. So she feels like, oh, he's on,
matter, yeah.
I matter that I'm here. The show is, I love being a part of the show for sure.
It's special. It's a special
Yeah.
show.
You originally where from?
I'm originally Albanian,
Okay.
but I grew up in Switzerland almost my entire life until about 10 years ago when I moved to Las Vegas for 2 years and then performing for Cirque du Soleil, the Beatles love. And then when I got my green card, I moved to Los Angeles. Los Angeles has the biggest opportunities as a dancer. I always wanted to be there to prove my skills. Yeah.
And Kalon, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from South Africa, born and raised. I moved out to England when I was 18 and lived and worked in Europe for about 6 years, all around Europe. And then recently in 2022, moved out here. Did Vegas for a little while, and I'm now, here on the tour doing my thing.
I was wondering, I'm sure there's so many people, guys, applying to be a part of the show. What do you need to have to be chosen as Mike? and as any dancer?
In general, in any job, there is many criteria that they are looking for, especially in this show. Skills is very important. Of course, the looks and the attitude as well, because they don't want to hire douchebags, even if they're great dancers, because the show is, yes, we are performing, but still the show is about the women. It's important to have people that get along and respect.
I think personality is a big factor. You could be the most amazing dancer in the world, but if you're, gonna have a really bad personality, then you're not gonna get hired. The casting process is done so well. I remember being blown away by it the first time I auditioned. It wasn't just, go into a room and dance and then we'll choose. We had 5-minute interviews, like individual interviews, where they ask you some pretty interesting questions.
Give me two.
Two questions. Okay, so there's 2 questions that stand out to me that I really remember. The one was, how would your family describe you? And the other was, what do women want?
Okay, can you please answer the question?
I mean, I don't want to give away all my secrets on how I got in.
What do women want?
My answer comes from the women I grew up around, so my mom and my grandmothers. So I said that I think women want communication and honesty. I think those are 2 of the most foundational things for any relationship, whether it's your mom, whether it's your sister, whether it's your friend or your girlfriend or this, that, or the other. Those 2 principles are a really big thing that I think, everyone wants, but the women I grew up around, it was especially important for them, communication and honesty.
Your turn.
I mean, communication, honesty is definitely very important. I think also just being seen, what I said earlier as well, being seen and respected. I think respect between humans is probably the most important part,
Yeah.
And if you can represent that, I think that's definitely a good start,
In how many different cities? Berlin, Miami, Vegas?
Yeah, I think we've both done the show in Berlin, in Vegas, and Miami, yeah.
How would you compare those different cities and the audience?
I mean, Berlin's an interesting one because in Germany there's a big like theater culture. So people go to theater shows or like big orchestra shows, and there's a culture built around that. So there's not necessarily the demographic of people we would usually expect to come to a show.
What do you mean by not your typical demographic?
You get the random old couple who just thought they were going to go watch a magic show or something, or the new musical that's just come out or something like that. Like musicals are really big in Germany as well. So it was a bit more of a mixed bag in Germany. Sometimes you had some really, crazy outgoing fun people there for a bachelorette. And then sometimes they were sat next to just this old couple who thought they were going to go watch a theater show for the night, who actually end up having a great night as well. I mean, it was a bit like Germany was the most there was the most polarization, right? There was the most...
Berlin is a very multicultural place. So you have a lot of different people. So I think that's where we had definitely some really wild people and then some very conservative people watching the show. But equally, everybody enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah.
The feedback was definitely amazing.
And then Vegas, I think, is interesting because a lot of people are just in and out of Vegas all the time. So we got a lot of tourists coming to watch the show, which is also you end up with some people coming in thinking it's a magic show or something because they just did not get the memo. But I love when people come in and they don't know what to expect or it's not what they expected at all because they usually end up having a really good time by the time they're leaving. I think Vegas was really good. Just, I think Miami's just been crazy good.
Is Miami your favorite?
Miami's my favorite audience so far.
For sure,
Yeah, they're just the energy, the vibe, and I think it's the enthusiasm to get involved. I feel like in Miami, people get up. Miami people get up and start dancing and having a great time, unprompted, which is really, really cool.
Getting standing ovations and all.
Yeah, I mean, look, the crowd is in it.
Yeah.
They're in it.
Okay, I have to tell you, the first time I saw the show, I was in Vegas, and I was there for Bachelorette. And Kat was there maybe 2 weeks before, and she saw the show originally. And I was telling her, I have to go to this annoying show tonight. I just don't want to go. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And I just thought, it's just whatever. And she's like, no, you have to go. You have to go. You're going to have a great time. She knows me, obviously. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then after the show, I was like, I was just so blown away. I'm like one of your biggest fans because I'm really because I work in the content creation space and I know how hard it is to create something that it looks amazing and everybody's having a great time and coordination. And I mean, you see how talented everybody is. And it's like, I was even asking you about this, like changing the outfits, like how often, like coordinating everything. I was just so impressed by the show. And obviously you guys are all like very talented in all aspects that we, discussed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that was also the idea from Channing. Originally, he wanted to create like a show where women can feel welcomed, seen, where they can just be there and enjoy and feel beautiful, Yeah. And for us, let's be honest, it's not being sexy. It's not just about showing skin, We do show skin too, but again, I think it's very sexy also when someone has like a special skill, where that not
your head twirl. You always do the head twirl.
Exactly. What I do is like, for example, the head spin. Like a lot of people have never seen that, like especially live, and they're blown away because they never expect to go to a show like this, and then seeing someone doing a head spin like that, know, it's and him doing all his movements is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Channing's whole idea was, to elevate these types of shows, to bring things to another level, as opposed to, our other competitors. In the space.
We don't know about any.
There are no
I'm not gonna give anyone any shout
There's
outs.
no competition.
What he means is just like evolve
Strip shows.
the male review shows,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys aren't strippers. Like that's where
No,
I
I
think
mean, we're
people
all
get it
professional
confused.
dancers who
And that's what
happen
people
to take
think
our
it
shirts
is.
off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you're right. It is. It's a big production. It's a big thing. There's a lot that goes into it. It's a professional show. It's something that I think can be looked at as professional as Broadway shows and other touring musical productions and things like that.
There is so much going on backstage, that you don't necessarily see it, but it's equally important than what we do on stage.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most difficult part of the show that people might not realize?
I think my most almost stressful part of the show is figuring out someone to take up on stage.
Okay.
Because
Let's talk about
I literally I come out. I usually try and come out a little bit earlier than Mike's entrance onto the stage, and just have a look around. I need to find someone that's wearing pants for the bit that I do on stage with them.
Okay, let's
I've
just
had a
explain
couple-
why do we need pants.
We need pants because it's just.
So I think originally when they started the Vegas show, they didn't think about it, but we found out there is a lot of women don't wear underwear. So then we made that rule that we can't have women with
anyone
no
on
pants.
Stage. will
If they have
to
like
be
a
wearing
skirt
pants.
and no underwear, it's kind of
Tricky.
yeah.
I mean, even just a skirt. I think the thing is, we don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable on the stage.
That's true.
So
That's why
already
you have
we're
the
taking
safe word
someone.
in the beginning, right?
Yeah, we have a safe word, which is unicorn.
So if somebody,
Surprise,
let's just
surprise.
explain for our audience in case they don't know. So if you guys are dancing and they feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
they can just say unicorn and
Yeah.
then you guys.
Has anyone
we-
ever said unicorn?
Yeah, there is sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Because everybody that comes to watch, some people they want to be more involved, and some people they just want to watch and want to enjoy from far and not necessarily hands-on.
Yeah, which is a great part about our show as well. Like you
Yeah.
can come and get whatever you want out of it,
Yeah.
basically.
That's why we created also that safe word, because we want everybody who comes to watch the show to also feel safe.
Getting back to it, like we don't want anyone to feel awkward or embarrassed. Like they're already being brave enough to come up on stage, right? So we don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable if they're in a skirt or if they're in a dress, and then I might pick them up or move them over, lay them on the ground, like.
And everybody's
we
taking
don't-
videos and like
Yeah,
it's gonna
we
be
don't want-
online.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff,
don't want
yeah.
anyone to feel compromised or put anyone in a compromising position. So we aim to take people up on stage that are wearing pants, majority of the time, especially if we're going to be dancing on them or with them. So yeah, it's a little bit stressful, that part of the show for me, going out.
that's the
and
most
figuring- 'cause
stressful part for
I've-
you.
Yeah, because I've had, there's timing involved.
chosen one.
There's timing involved in there because I have to get up on stage with a certain time in the music and then start the routine. And I've had it where people have said no. You know, I only asked them just before the number. I've like mapped out a few options just in case someone says
Okay, what is your
no.
mapping process?
I don't know. I come out and see, okay, well, who looks like they're here having fun already? Who looks
But
like
not too much fun either.
But who
Because
looks
that
like
could-
they're invested or they're involved or they might, you know, be willing to come up and do the thing. And I try and see a few people wearing pants like that. I just have a few backups in case I ask someone and they say, no, thank you, it's okay. Or they say unicorn straight away. And then, you know, I don't want to be standing there without anyone at the end of the day. So, I mean, that part's a little bit stressful for me. And then also the number, I don't want to give too much away. There's a partnering number in the show where the floor is a little bit wet and it can be slippery sometimes. So that can be a little bit stressful when it's slippery.
Okay. What would you say? The most stressful part?
No, honestly, for me, it's just like I enjoy it more than like being stressful or something like this. And sometimes we do like little changes, so you have to be aware, you know.
You know, you have to be aware. Sometimes someone might be standing up or walking in your way where you're usually supposed to be dancing.
And then, some audience member might move their chairs and then we don't have space, but I have only like 10 seconds to get from here to there. And then this is more like maybe the small stressful part.
You have 2 shows a day, right? Or
yeah,
Two
currently,
shows a night.
we do a 10-show week. So we have Monday, Tuesday off, and then we work every other
crazy.
day.
I would love to talk more about your Miami experience.
Perfect.
I wanted to ask you guys about the girls. I know that the girls are crazier here, and how, like, do they grab on you guys? Has it ever been uncomfortable for you guys or never?
You want to take it?
So I mean, the show is all about...
we need some juice in this. Yeah.
So the show is all about
production.
Yeah.
The show is all about respect, and not only respect for the women, also respect for us. The safe word unicorn is not just for you guys; it's actually also for us. So I have unicorned a few women. Yes, yeah. It's just like I feel like the difference. If it would be the opposite, I feel like men at least know where the line is because they know they can get in trouble. And because it's the opposite, we're the performers and women are like watching. I feel like some women, they don't know where the line is because they're like, oh, you're a man, you must like it or something. And so I had it before that someone just like was grabbing me between my legs or something. And of course, this is not that kind of show. So I'm like, I warned them and I'm like, hey, don't do that. We don't accept this here. If you do it again,
you can't
unfortunately, we have to kick you out.
Get escorted out.
And we did have like a few times that we had to kick out some groups because they were too wild.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just not necessarily, I don't think it's necessarily being too wild. I think it's just being a bit disrespectful.
Rude. Yeah, disrespectful or rude.
You got us, you know, trying our utmost to be as respectful as possible and to create the space. And I think it kind of comes hand in hand, like what you said. Like, I don't think women have really been given much of a space like this before, right? So we want to give freedom. We want to give like openness to get what you want out of the show. And you know, if you haven't really had that space or you haven't really had that freedom before, maybe you don't know where the line is, you don't know how to act. I mean, strip clubs and gentlemen clubs have been around for so long. And you know, if you cross the line with a female performer there, you know, you're going to get escorted out and probably roughed up once you're outside. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, we have moments. I kind of try to keep that in mind that maybe people just don't know what to do with this freedom, and then like you said, you give them a warning. You say like, hey, look, I don't really, you know,
like chill.
Like, I appreciate that you're having fun, but you know, a little bit of respect goes a long way. Yeah, I've been, you know, grabbed and groped, and you know, sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. But you have to. It's another part of the job. You have to learn how to, you know, read a situation and see it for what it is.
And say it politely as well to not make them feel like uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the first time that I went to the show in Miami, I saw you take like an older lady up, and I thought it was so cute. You like brought an older lady, she was like living her life, and my husband's like, you're going to the strip club, and I'm like, it's not the strip club, and I'm like, it's legit dancing, and I'm like, my favorite part of the dance is when you guys are in the suits, which is crazy, but I just like I love dance.
Yeah.
So
you used to dance.
Yeah, I used to dance. So I like love the aspect of it. And I think a lot of girls think it's like a cheesy, like people that haven't been to the show, which is kind of what Koko thought in the beginning. She was like, I don't want to go to it. It's like a cheesy, like, strip club, and I'm like, it's actually not. And when I was going, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that stigma, the more you guys are doing the shows, the more that girls are seeing it, and the more that people are kind of breaking it, and like the respect, the unicorn part of it, like it's just really cool.
Changing lives.
Yeah. Remember when Koko said that to you guys? She's like, you guys are changing lives, and I was like,
She had a
I don't
few
know about all
drinks
that.
as
And I remember telling you, I'm like, I don't know about all that, but now that I see it, and I saw the older lady, and I've seen like some girls, and like even when we went like last time that I saw you guys, there was this girl and she was like yelling for you to go over, and I was like, please go over, and you like made her day. So I totally see it, how you guys like really do, and when you give out the roses and stuff.
No,
like,
honestly, for me, it's like because we have all kind of different audience members. You have people from like, I think it starts 18, right?
Yeah, 18.
So
I think.
from 18 to like, I think
we
the
had
oldest
someone in that was 90.
92. Yeah.
Wow.
And then we have also
Wow.
women in wheelchair sometimes, and for me, I love going to a woman in wheelchair and give her some attention because let's be honest, a beautiful woman gets attention every day, either online or on the street or anywhere, So if a woman in a chair, she probably didn't get any attention from a guy like us, never, or maybe for a long time didn't get it, So for me, when I go there, I try to make her feel welcomed and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter how you look like. And also, like he said, there was a woman, she was 92, and I still gave her a lap dance, and I still, smiled at her, looked at her, like made her feel seen.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, changing lives. I mean, it's a lot to say, changing lives.
No, I
but
stand behind it.
we have
boosting confidence.
we've definitely had some moments that like stand out to me. A couple of weeks ago, we had a woman in who we actually brought up on stage for one of the things, and she has cancer, and she was told she had 6 months to live, and she was there, and she was just living her best life, and we made a special moment for her, and there's a part in the show where we slow dance with women, and I think that's a very important part of the show as well, because some people just haven't had a slow dance in a long time. We hear stories about, oh, this is the first time I've danced with a man since my husband passed away, or it's the first time I've danced with a man, in a very long time.
I'm gonna
or,
cry. Don't
this, that, or the other. There's a lot of
Beautiful stories.
we do try and make a change, and I think that's one of the big things that sets us apart from any other kind of show in general.
You guys aren't like picking like the hottest girl. It's like you guys are picking like, I mean, obviously sometimes it's like really, everybody's beautiful, but you guys aren't going for that one specific look. Like I've seen so many different people go up, and I think that's like the cool part.
My favorite was when you get like an older woman. Because people usually think, oh, when you're older, you don't even
Like sex isn't something
sex is,
that
like,
you like.
different.
Sex
even
is
the
a little bit like
reactions.
taboo for older people. Like in society, I think you're totally right. But I have the best time when I take an older woman up, because I'm like, as long as when they're having fun, like it's always the best crowd reaction. I'm always having the best time. I think they're always having a great time, and it's fun, man. It's been a while since I presume, I don't know if Grandma's going to the strip club every second weekend, but
It's gonna be cool.
presume it's been a while since she's
I'll
been
be there when I'm 92.
since she's been danced on or picked up, or like I really enjoy that. I really enjoy getting to do that as well. Yeah.
I want to know about your process becoming Mike. How did that happen?
Look, when I auditioned in 2019 for the Berlin show. The only reason I auditioned was because my girlfriend at the time was auditioning for the female dance role. And I saw what that entailed, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm going to audition as well. I didn't even know I was going to be seen for Mike. I just was auditioning to be part of the show. And I made it to the finals, and there were like 40 guys at this final audition that lasted for 3 days. I had only planned on being there for the first 2 days. After the first day, they said, hey, we'd like you to stay an extra day after this and be seen for Mike. And so I had done all the dance rounds with everyone else, and then they kept me there to do some partnering with some of the options for the female dancer for the show. And then just, like I said, the interviews and all of that. So, I mean, that's really the process that I went through. After I got it, I spent some time with Channing in LA, just going through the intentions behind the character and the journey that he goes through in the show, and ended up in Berlin doing it, and then Vegas being Mike as well, and now here. I always want to put my best foot forward. Like, it's yes, I've done the show a bunch of times, but for most of the people in the audience, this is their first time seeing it. And I want them to walk away with, having had a good experience and having a good perception of the show and a good perception of myself as a performer. So I think that's a big thing that adds to my excitement and helps me kind of get into it.
Okay, I'm gonna finish off this interview by a few questions from my audience. Luckily, today is Friday. Every Tuesday and Friday, I ask my audience, actually they ask me, what will Koko do? The questions are usually about dating, relationships. So Kat, would you like to do me
Yes.
the honor and help me choose the questions?
Yes.
Let's see.
This is gonna be good.
Let's pick
Okay.
a
It's
good
gonna be
one.
fun. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. When he has pictures of his ex-girlfriend on his phone, is that an issue or not?
It depends. How recently did he break up with his ex? I think.
Like, I think she's talking about, like, she, I guess, went on her phone and has old pictures, like you, of your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what kind of pictures you're talking about as well.
Yeah. It depends what kind of pictures and how old they are. Maybe he just forgot to delete them, or
I feel like guys don't clean out their phones.
That's
Like,
yeah,
my-
exactly.
like-
It could be as harmless as he just didn't clean up his phone, or
Yeah.
it could be also he still likes her.
Or maybe it's still fresh, and I think men also, despite what society might think, have emotional, connections and attachments to things, and it's not just necessarily the relationship that you still have the photo for, but I think you can have memories with someone, and it's hard. Unless you're photoshopping them out of the memories, like it's a memory and it's a time, and I don't think it needs to impact your future relationships or your current relationship.
Okay.
I don't want to
fair.
give anyone a hall pass to just keep dodgy pictures of their ex on their phone, though.
Okay, he hasn't responded to me in 3 days. I text, call. What to do if somebody is like not replying or not?
That's a good one for
What would
them.
you do?
Well, he probably has a lot of options or other options too, and maybe he's not as interested in her, or maybe she's not,
Koko, why don't
or she's less interesting than maybe other girls that he has.
you guys should answer for the guy? Like, if you're a guy and you're dodging the girl for 3 days and not answering the call, like, why is that? Why do you guys?
Yeah.
Why would you guys
I
do
would
that?
never do that.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do
Really?
that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ever? Like,
No.
what if you
What
meet
if
a
you don't want to be with her?
Yeah, you would just tell her.
I'd just tell her, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it fucking hurts. It sucks. But I'd be like, hey, yeah, I had a really great time. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but
Here,
Okay,
tickets
yeah.
to my show.
Tell me what would be. So let's say you were seeing somebody and then you decided you don't want to see them anymore.
well,
to
seeing
break-
someone as in you've been on a couple dates.
Or
and
maybe a
it's-
month.
It's quite fresh, like a month.
Yeah, like you were not in a relationship, but you were kind of.
You're kind of seeing each other.
Yeah.
Okay,
Would you break up over text, or would you call them, or you would do it in person?
man, for
That's
a
a good
month. How
question.
many dates we've been
Yeah,
on?
that's right.
Maybe
If
four,
it's
5,
4 or 5
6.
or 6. Yeah, I'd probably call them.
Yeah, I would either text or call. But if I text, I would probably be like, hey, it's not going what I expect, or it's not what I expected. If I would be very honest. It depends who she is and
Yeah.
what relationship in that month I had with her. But I would be like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. I don't see this going somewhere. I don't want to waste your time or my time. And yeah, I wish you good luck in everything.
Yeah, I think if I'd maybe been on 4 dates, it would be something I could do over a call or a conversation over text. 6 dates, I'd probably change it. I'd probably be like, hey, let's just meet up for coffee and then talk it out.
When would you block somebody?
And would
I never
block
block someone. I don't know. This is, I think, more like an American thing.
I mean, I think
I
I've
would
only blocked people on social media if they're being really crude and
I block somebody every day.
Yeah. So the only few people that I ever blocked was more like they probably send me like literally 30 to 50 texts, and I'm like, I told you that it's not going,
Yeah.
and then I might block her or something.
What do you think guys look for in a girl? Like, what are like important qualities for you guys to like actually take someone serious? Or like, what out of all the girls you guys meet, like you're single, right? Like, what would make you date one of the girls that you meet, or like anybody?
You want to go first, or?
Yeah, I can go first. I think something that I find attractive in women is independence. I seem to be attracted to strong, fairly independent women. I think that can deter some guys because they want to feel more in power or more in control. Yeah, that's not really my vibe. I like women, you know, a woman who can stand on her own and do her own thing. And then, man, someone who can make me laugh. That's a big one. Like, if someone can make you laugh, and I mean, I've also someone that can dance. Like, dance is my weakness. Like, you don't have to be able to you don't have to be a ballerina, but if we're out at a club and we're dancing, you know, I'd like that's a good one for me as well. Connection.
I'm a little different there.
Yeah,
I would say. I think no, I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying like she can be independent. That's fine. But I feel like the number one deal breaker for me is respect. Like whatever the relationship is, if she becomes disrespectful to me, that's when I.
Yeah, but what made you like her first? Like what made you interested in them first?
Yeah, usually I like sophisticated women. Yeah. For example, women that know how to carry themselves, women that take care of themselves. Yeah. Definitely someone who's nice. It's not about being dependent or independent. Yeah. It's more like someone who's genuine, you know.
That's a big one.
This is a very important thing too for me.
Yeah, and we meet a lot of women in our lineup.
I'm not gonna lie. She has to be sexy too, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But sexy could be different, you know.
But sexy is different to different people. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
We meet a lot of women, talk to a lot of women, you know, around what we do, and sometimes, you know, you can tell. It happens less often for me, where I'm like, oh, you're actually really cool, and I could maybe connect with you. But I think it's also because they've just seen us do this crazy thing on stage, and they've been there for another reason. It's not like they're there to meet any of the guys or to do any of that. But I can tell when someone's genuine. I can tell when someone's not trying to put up a facade.
Also, for you guys, you need to have somebody who's not jealous.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you talk to so many women every single day on stage and stuff like that. Like, if somebody is crazy jealous or comes to every single show or gives you. I know I cannot be with somebody who's controlling and who's asking me where I am every 5 minutes or, you know.
For sure. I mean, it's also stressful for us, you know, to perform and live our lives, basically. I definitely don't want to get home to someone that is going to nag or is going to be like jealous or. I want to come to peace, basically.
But I think that also comes with, like you said, someone who's sophisticated and someone who's genuine, and those are conversations that you have. And if they are really jealous and it's something that they struggle with, then unfortunately maybe that's not the best relationship for you. But if it's something you can talk through and something you can communicate and learn to understand about each other and get through, then I think, you know, it's okay. I think people get jealous. Like, it happens. I think it's a natural human response. But as long as you understand that the jealousy is coming from a place within you, like if I'm jealous, I know it's coming from an insecurity or something within me, not necessarily my partner. They're not trying to make me jealous. So I think when you can understand that, like, jealousy is natural, but it's where you go from there and how you try and understand it that I think makes the difference.
If somebody is in touch with their ex, is that okay with you or not?
Yeah. I suppose it depends what their relationship is.
Maybe like an occasional, hey, what's up? Happy birthday.
So I think it depends. I think for guys and women are a little bit different in this way. I feel like because women are more emotional and men are less emotional, but more.
I disagree.
Direct. I mean, we definitely have like a different view when it comes to relationship. He's also, 12 years younger than me?
Yeah.
So it's completely different. I think like as a man, when you get older, you build yourself and you build the life that you enjoy. For me, I love my life. So I would never introduce a woman into my life that makes my life worse. Only if she can make my life better, that's when I introduce her to my life and I can take her with me, you know. And I guess if you're a little younger, you think a little bit different in certain things, you know.
Yeah, I feel like there's room for compromise and understanding and growth together and learning. But yeah, being in contact with your ex, I don't know. I think it depends on what their relationship is. I would never want my partner to feel like I'm being controlling or I have any say in what you're gonna do with your life. I don't feel like I should. Yeah, I might feel jealous, but I'll be honest with you and talk about that. It makes me feel some type of way. But I would never expect you to not talk to someone who you may have a friendship with. Like, I can't tell you who to talk to and who not to talk to. It's just whether or not you're going to respect my feelings in that as well. I think it goes two ways.
Yeah, I would definitely not let my girl talk to her ex.
You would not?
No.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I mean,
As a man,
I wouldn't
again,
talk. I get what you're.
because I
agree.
think women are more emotional. There is a reason why she's
Yeah.
talking, you know. As a man, it could be also just like, yeah, cool. But usually as a man, once you finish a relationship,
It's done.
it's done.
Yeah, I
you know
don't
what I
really.
mean? And as a
talk to
woman,
my ex.
if you're still talking to that man, then there might be still some trace, you know,
Yeah.
behind
Like a
it.
high, like I run
Yeah.
into my ex sometimes
Yeah.
when I'm
Yeah.
going to the gym, and I'm like, hey, like.
Yeah,
from
hi,
a
bye,
distance,
sure.
And then
Hi,
I
bye.
walk away.
Yeah,
but
of
it's not
course.
like,
Yeah.
how's life? Let's hug.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Let's go for coffee.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, never.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying,
Maybe
like-
not let's hang out all
Yeah,
the time.
but like I like to
be
end cordially.
besties.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'd struggle if, someone I was dating was besties with their ex. Like, that's not
You guys say
It
besties?
besties. Yeah.
Boujee bestie.
Boujee besties.
Boujee besties.
Yeah.
I thought it was an American thing. the
Okay,
besties.
Kat, one final question for our
One
boys.
final question. Do you guys ever feel like whenever you guys are talking to girls, like let's say you guys are single, that they're gonna look at you guys any different for having the role of Magic Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, like like they won't take you serious, or like you guys are super confident and you're like, this is like, do you guys
I
ever
feel
have
like
that feeling?
It depends. I feel like maybe when you just meet,
Yeah.
but once you meet someone, then they get to know you better. Then they see that you're not just like a stripper or whatever. It always depends.
I feel like
Maybe you guys got to answer that actually.
I
when we
wonder
met
if you guys
first
have,
and
like, the
how
insecurities
what
for
respect
girls
you
as
have
well.
now towards us. You
No,
know?
I completely. When I first met you, I didn't like really think much about you as human beings.
Yeah.
To
yeah,
be very
see,
honest.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
And now that I've seen you guys a few times and like I see who you are as
Yeah.
people. I respect you so much. Not that I didn't respect you before. I was
Yeah.
just like not think. I mean, now I see that you guys are.
Yeah. But, I mean, I definitely feel it talking to a woman after the show. I can see that they have this sort of perception of who I am just because of what I've done on stage. And it might be an amazing perception and it might be, like not necessarily looking at me like I'm a human being, but it's a lot. There's a lot of talent. It can be quite overwhelming in the show, just the amount of talent and what the show is. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I talk to majority of the people, I mean, there's a good chunk of people who are genuine and are like, oh my God, that was amazing. I bet you're so tired. Can't believe you have to do it again in half an hour. Like, there are some people who can be really real, and then you get a good bunch of people who I'm like, you're just talking to me thinking that I'm this thing that you saw on stage, and I'm not much more than that. But I can't expect you to think any other way because you don't know.
Yeah.
So I think it's about understanding.
I think this was a perfect ending to our conversation.
Awesome.
See,
Thank
I
you so
thought
much.
Kaylin, thank you for being a part of the Boujee Best Friend podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, and
That's
Kat,
right.
thank you for
The moral support.
a few questions and moral support.
I didn't know I was asking.
Yeah, no.
Thanks for sitting there and putting a smile
I was
on.
looking at the
Yeah,
under time.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. Thank you for being here.
Oh, such a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah,
Go change lives.
Hell yeah.
Change
Changing
lives.
lives.
No, you guys are awesome.
Changing lives.